entire teams, not just with the MPX in hand, and additionally that C4, but also all the information that comes with it.
Looks like it does clear out that one Evil Eye as England stretches across the kitchen bar, but here comes a Nitro Cell. Botched by Geo, retrieved on the edge of the windowsill. Canadian will take one. Geo claims two. Now Canadian pressing up right against the kitchen door on the opposite of a soft wall. The Diffuser is surrendered at the disposal of the kitchen window. A wide peek from Canadian is able to down off Vandal, but Hyper will trade him back out. Young Toxic Babes go flying out and will again cut off the access to that kitchen door, and Hyper trying to make a last-ditch retrieval of Vandal. He scoots his way into the blue bar through the doorway. It'll be a mad dash now to try and recover the Diffuser and hold off for a plant attempt as they all go rushing through. Vandal will vault first. Hyper will recover the Diffuser and the plant going down in the backhand corner. Vandal holding close. Toxic Babe, though, it won't be touching Hyper as he's pressed right up against that windowsill. Both EG defenders come exploding out, and Hyper will grab one. The vault out of the window now as they evacuate the site. Turning to the corner to the left now. EG on the hopes of Geo. He's able to take down Vandal, but now Hyper outside has window control. It's an easy spot to play, and Geo's going to hop up. He thinks the plant is inside default corner, but no, it's at window. He's going to have to remaneuver his way on top of the Diffuser. Takes a lot of damage in the process. Baiting out the defuse. He turns and he's able to take down Hyper. Geo playing wonderfully, spectacularly on the bait in the 1v2, and EG. Geo returning to old form with an old name, and they'll take round number 1.
Capital of Acid just wades right in, and Geo will fall off. You see Acid has been downed, and England off of his traditional hard breaching role because it is coastline. You don't need a hard breacher most of the time. It's going to free him up to play an operator that might have a bit more prowess when it comes to just ability to kill. Not necessarily relying on their utility, and I mean, the utility of Blackbeard is to get kills. That's what he does. Acid's going to use 2 of his smokes, and England losing a lot of his HP means that it's dire straits for Rise for the time being, as there's both Acid and England very low on HP. They got 30 seconds to work with 4 members of Evil Geniuses to hold them off. A good angle here and a crossfire being set up from Necrox and Geo. Necrox showing off that Rainbow is Magic skin that you had mentioned in match number 2 of the day. And the smoke will just choke off Rise Nation's advance. Acid will circle on around back. He still has 2 asphyxiating bolts, but this might be a very difficult situation for him to get out of. He pushes on in. Necrox will take him down, and where is England? Pre-Fire is anticipating where the Blackbeard would be. It's a deagle kill, but ends up being impactless. Geo, 2 kills on the round, and former teammates in Geo and England. This will be the second round. Look at what Rise Nation needs to do to change this. It's just going to be a rush. They're going to go in absolutely gangbusters. 3 bodies into service. Canadian will take out crazy as Hyper and England are able to get 2 big kills. Rise have full control, and nobody from EG seemed to understand this, but NVK will take out Hyper. Looking for a second, he'll grab it on Acid and immediately retreat to the safety of the reinforced wall. England and Vandal will now have to try to work their way through the 2 remaining members of EG. This is the best round that we've seen from Rise, and it comes in the first 40 seconds.
Very site-centric and honestly aggressive.
We didn't see where those air jabs got landed, as NVK will claim England, leaving just Vandal left, who has used all 3 of those air jabs. But I was going to say, if Geo can make it through the main lobby here, he can find himself in a position to be able to sneak up on Vandal. But it's going to be good joint effort from Evil Geniuses. NVK now extremely patient, just waiting for Vandal to pop on through, and there you go, a triumphant round from NVK. I believe that was 4 kills that he was able to put on down. And it was close for Rise at the beginning, but as that round went on, you saw Rise's prospects continue to fall. And being overshadowed by that rush, Rise Nation looked to be able to put their very first round on the board, but you never count EG out. Unless you do that, England just needs to stand and hold one angle, and EG's going to throw themselves at him. It'll be Necrox in the line of fire. Vandal there claims Geo, and everything is falling apart, with NVK needing to clutch ace. Able to take out Acid, almost looked like he wouldn't be able to, but NVK now understands there's another body over on Cool Vibe stairs. It's the Habana of Hyper. A flash will force NVK back on up the Cool Vibe stairs, as Crazy and England are now going to be at the main door looking to push on in. Spotted on a drone as NVKs. He'll go back in, go for the reload. It's going to be a lengthy one, and he'll be vulnerable for the entire time as Rise will continue to advance on that site. NVK has his back turned to the team and will now need to look as England is going for a successful plant. He looks like he should be able to do it. Sight's trained on where NVK is, and there's no way he's getting out of this alive. He's going to come around the corner, and he's going to eat quite a bit of damage from that SMG-11. He'll take out Crazy, but there's likely somebody there to trade, and it'll be Vandal. As Rise Nation took a little bit longer to find their footing and be able to take NVK out, but good patience to not, and Finka too if she gets brought, being able to put so much vertical pressure underneath the footing of those defenders playing in the very typical spots inside of theater and somewhat inside of the master bedroom as well. So it will be a double bar defense for EG before they switch sides, and immediately Rise will look towards the office to be able to put pressure on that blue bar door, all of which is of course barricaded and will bide some time for Evil Geniuses and wait for Rise to get through that and make progress towards the site.
Public enemy number 1 for Rise has to be Canadian. Again on the dock, yes, there are other members of Evil Geniuses like Geo who have more kills, but Canadian has been honestly the first push of the boulder, and there goes Hyper once again as Canadian tries to rotate out. Crazy will tack on and take down Geo, so there goes your top frag, and honestly your most aggressive member of Evil Geniuses. NVK can't land a lethal blow onto Vandal. Drops him below 50 HP, but traded out now as Acid will decapitate him from the sunrise, or sorry, the kitchen entrance. It's Young and Necrox suddenly, as we're not even halfway done this round, as they twist around, having to amass multiple angles at a time to try and assess the situation at hand. They try to work their way out of a 2v5.
Air jabs will cut off a rotate through the bathroom, and not a ton of vertical presence as it looked like Necrox tried to retake from above, couldn't do it. Young will gun down Vandal, but England through the wall. A litany of poke holes will give some information, and well, Young's earlier, a couple pings will alert him to the fact that there's enemies not too far away, and danger will lurk only a meter or so from where that cardiac sensor will be able to read. EG bursts into the site. Young will go for a plant with smoke in his way. The Evil Eye will take some damage down. Oh, but Young falls off. Necrox, a calamity of errors as he'll team kill before England can fell NVK. Geo very silently enters on in. He'll punish Acid. In 30 seconds to go, EG will need to possibly get that plant down. Necrox holds the diffuser and can go for a plant in the corner. With the Maestro down, it means that there's going to be no Evil Eyes to tase what little is left of Necrox. The rest of the team will try to figure out the location of Rise as Necrox attempts that plant. Geo picks up kill number 2 onto Vandal, and it looks to be almost successful until England pops up. 2 very big kills. Canadian from above shuts down Crazy. And no diffuser in hand means that with 10 seconds, EG is just simply going to have to frag out. Canadian will now try to fetch the diffuser, but it'll be put in a 1v1 as Geo will get downed and finished off by Hyper. And with all the marks in the world, this should be a very easy hold for Hyper. With just a second left, he'll clean up. 3 rounds in a row. Rise has come alive. That's a big play from this team to be able to hold it all together, and we'll see what site they'll go to next.
You also mentioned the ease of bringing a Thatcher and how much of a shortcut that is to displacing those Kaid Electro Claws, and we saw in the most picked operators heading into the playdate today. Thatcher, the number 1 picked operator on attack for North America. It obviously varies between regions. Latin America as such not taking a Thatcher very often, but we still stand at a stalemate right now, honestly. A 5v5, not a lot of progress made by Evil Geniuses as they have map control on the opposite side from the objective on the top floor, but they continuously drone out the same members in the same positions inside of Hookah. It's the Smoke and Pulse of Crazy in England, stacking inside and using that cardiac sensor, and Geo just keeps twisting back and forth in this balcony, but no one's going to give him the peek necessary. Finally, an Aquarium push coming out from Evil Geniuses on the backside, but again, there's no one really here to help Necrox as the lone man carrying the diffuser as smokes come out, and there's a lot of utility in the back pocket for Rise to stall this out.
12 seconds now, the timer for those phone calls to go off as the lifeline will ring away. England cuts Young down to size, waiting for Geo to possibly trade off, but Hyper as England's back and 2 momentous kills. Rise perfect through that stretch. EG in trouble, dropping 4 rounds now. And Rise getting under the skin.
Down to the final moments of this round where an execute's going to come out, and could it be another scenario in which Evil Geniuses stall out in this plant attempt with no utility baited? However, Canadian will dispatch of Crazy with a frag grenade on his country's sake member of Buck, but there goes a trade out from Hyper onto Necrox, leaving us at a 3v3.
Young has managed to weasel a drone into sight and have it go undetected right in front of England multiple rounds now. And if that information is still there for Evil Geniuses, they can capitalize on it, but eerily quiet in the calm before the storm here on a pivotal round, looking for Rise Nation to grab their very first victory and take the lead here on Kitchen. Hyper's going to take out NVK. England is there as well, and it's all up to Canadian, who pulls out the shotgun, downs England, but cannot get anything more than that. Hyper right now has Canadian's number on both sides of the court here.
So again, we find ourselves in a position where Evil Geniuses have not been able to isolate and remove any of the roamers from Rise, who stand at a 5v5 in the dying minute of the round. The Toxic Babes again coming out from England, stalling out this site push for EG. I sound like a broken record right now, but so do EG look. Smokes will come out from Necrox, and hopefully it won't result in a team kill on the side of Evil Geniuses. They pull back out the drone. A frag grenade will not connect onto England this time. And now the second to last Toxic Babe, and shots up through the floor will drop Canadian. No more top pressure, and England can sit pretty in behind the cubby until NVK pushes down Cool Vibes to take him down. Young on limited HP now, trying to successfully pull off a plant in behind the B bomb inside of Sunrise. He'll get it down. Geo will take down one, but Vandal in the immediate trade. Crazy with another. It's a man advantage now for Rise in a post-plant scenario where they have to retake. Geo outside now, causing a distraction and havoc by breaking glass on the windows, and he's got a Claymore set, trying to bait anyone from Rise to get a little aggressive and peek around the corner. Shots from the backside of Crazy, but he wins it out on the net, on the tiny pixel of the door frame. NVK with one, and the defuse will be successful. That is Evil Geniuses dropping 6 rounds in a row. Give him a little dance, Vandal, as Rise have guaranteed yet another point this week.
EG will not.
NVK losing a very influential gunfight there, and Crazy able to win that out and lock down. So that's again the diffuser surrendered, this time on the hookah balcony. So a reposition coming out from Geo as he saunters up those the hookah balcony stairs. A concussion mine at the best possible time, honestly. Flurry of trades come out, leave Vandal and Geo in a 1v1. The diffuser is still outside for Geo. He has not recovered it. Vandal still playing in behind the Sunrise bar. Shots will give away his position as Geo still contends with that barbed wire at the base of the door frame. Vandal unaware of the positioning of Geo, a plant being attempted into the back. He still have impact nades to launch out just as a scare tactic as Geo coming closer and closer, and he will complete the plant. Rushing on in now, Vandal spraying through the benches, but will only connect one bullet, doing minimal damage right up against where a rotate would be. An impact comes out and it won't land. Shots around the corner, and again, Geo taking way more damage as Vandal still above 95. Pressing right up against the hard wall, another impact, but Geo has rotated out to the vase. Unaware is Vandal, and Evil Geniuses will finally stop the bleeding. They have
one set of smoke grenades in Necrox's fingers. He'll toss one out, he'll cut off just a portion of the kitchen, and there you go. Completely obscuring the sight, but very well timed as England now has the clock to battle in the remaining 40 seconds with his toxic canisters. Hyper and Acid absorbing an awful lot of damage as Geo drops Hyper. Waiting to see what Acid can muster from inside of the main lobby. England cannot control the recoil. Looking through the doorway, Geo takes out Acid. A 2v5, surely favoring EG. England trying to connect through the railings. He'll take some damage. Run on in. Crazy drops Canadian, looks for another push. Young going for a plant, possibly no, choking out a lot of that toxic canister amidst the smoke is Crazy, dropping Necrox. England itches on up. He doesn't know if there's a body planting. It's Young who will now need to go. 10 seconds, Crazy, tick-tock, push on in. He sees one, gets the mark. Can Crazy land the shots? No, Geo in the last second will give EG a draw, and it's a big 2 rounds for Geo as he almost single-handedly wins.